Morning, morning, morning. Who's live? Good morning, everybody. Today, let us be vigilant. Oh, let us be vigilant. Now, of course, I didn't look it up before I got here, but I know what it means. I just want to give you the dictionary meaning. Um, when I say I want us to be vigilant, it's keeping careful watch for possible danger or difficulties. What I want us to keep careful watch for is a little thing that happens to us. The more comfortable we become in this journey, sometimes we forget and we go back to what we used to be. So to be vigilant, you're watching yourself. You're watching yourself to make sure you are living the way you say you want to live your life. I'll give you an example. Old habits die hard, they say. So you have this habit that you do, this thing, and you start living the new way. But you see, you haven't been living the new way long enough yet, right? To replace the old habit. So you go out and you're frolicking, and then all of a sudden, you fall into this familiar space. This familiar state of living this familiar lifestyle. And then you go right back to what you used to be. That example is this. If you're like me and a little bit hot under the collar, you don't suffer fools. You just don't like foolish behavior, right? And you go out and you see something and you're like, oh, and you just let your mouth run because you can't handle the nonsense. See, that's my old way. That is my old way. My new way is observation. Observation and non-judgment. That's my new way. But you see, I have not been living that lifestyle of observation and non-judgment longer than I've been living the one of anger. However, the more you are vigilant, the more you watch yourself and you begin to see yourself slipping, you say, observation and non-judgment. Right? That's what you say. So now you're not cussing anybody out. No, you're not. You see? Why? Because when you are vigilant, you stay on brand. For those who are marketing specialists, you know what I'm saying. You have a brand, you have an image, you have a state, you have a lifestyle. That's your brand. You don't deviate from that. You don't go back to what you used to be before you upgraded. But because we've been living the lifestyle the previous way for such an amount of time, it's easy to slip backwards. Of course it is. It's easy to slip backwards and say, "Aw, snap, that's so comfortable and familiar to me." But the more you are vigilant and you redirect your attention to where you want to be and how you want to behave, you will begin to notice less instances of the old. Neville Goddard calls it the old man. So vigilance of self is a brilliant thing because you are always paying attention. Anybody who has been sober will tell you this. They don't put themselves in positions where they won't have that control. So they are always vigilant about themselves so they don't go back to the addiction. And we all know how easy it is, right? So that's why vigilance, and again, when you are vigilant and you're watching, you're observing without judgment. Oh my God. Can I get this right? How long am I going to have to do this before change happens? You see, that's judging the situation. How do you know it's how do you know? Pay attention to what you are doing, what you're thinking, what you are saying. And if it does not match what you say you want to be, then you change it. You don't judge it. This is why we are vigilant. We are vigilant to observe the self. Because even though we want to give our habits a personality, even though we want to give our habits a personality, see them for what they are. They're not people. They are a behavior that you have become so familiar with that you can do it in your sleep. Right? So be vigilant. Watch yourself. Don't judge yourself. Just watch. There's a lot you can learn from observation. A lot. We learned it in TCM school, traditional Chinese medicine. People will come in and they'll tell you things. But then you say, may I see your tongue, please? Observation. The tongue will tell you everything you want to know. More ways than one. Because out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. But you see, the tongue has very, very distinct characteristics that show your lifestyle. Is it one of worry? Oh, is it one of anxiety? Well, the tongue tells you everything. See? So observation is key, because even though they come in and they say, oh, I'm just here for these migraines. No, you look at their tongue, you're like, oh, I can confirm the migraines, yes, but I also see this. How do you know? I'm like, it's on your tongue. It's the way you live. It is your lifestyle. But you see, they don't see it because it's hidden, yet obvious. This is why we must ever be vigilant. Especially when you say to yourself, I'm this new person, and I will continue to do these behaviors of this new person, this new behavior. When you start doing that new behavior, watch yourself as you do it. Well, you must. How else will you know that you're following through if you don't watch, if you don't pay attention? You see, that's the thing. Sometimes it is very, very easy. And we think, well, I got this in the bag. Oh, we got this in the bag, right? And then you forget. And you slip right back into the old way. Again, it is not a judgment. It is an observation of the self. If you say, this is my new way of being, watch yourself to make sure that you're living it the right way. And when you see certain things, you correct the self. Not admonish or punish, but correct the self. I see that. I see you slipped up right there, Angela. All right, remember, the new action, right, is this. And you do it. Why is that so important? Because you're teaching yourself the new way to be. The more you teach yourself the new way, the faster it becomes the new way, because we must be consistent in the behavior. You do it the same way every time. Do it the same way every time. And be persistent. Persistent, yes. Yeah, you're going to do it the same way every time, but you got to do it. Persistence. Even when you feel like, can I just be my old self today? You will have to answer that question. You're spending all this time and effort and energy to say, I'm going to be a new person. I'm going to behave differently. But you want to take a break and say, well, can I just be the old way today? How does that possibly make sense? For the person who's been sober, they must continue in their persistence and their vigilance on a daily basis. They must. You see, we are so hard on ourselves. Oh, I made a mistake. What did you do? And then you look at what you did and you say, okay, here's what I'm doing instead. Remember. That's what you tell you. Remember. This is why you don't say don't forget. It is not a command. Remember is the command. When you are telling your body your new way of being and the old behavior comes up, you say, remember, we do this. Remember, we do this. Why? You are telling it what to remember. So when you say, remember, don't forget your shoes. The brain doesn't hear don't, but it hears forget your shoes. Tell yourself what you want to do. Remember. That is why you speak to yourself in such a fashion. Give the command of what you want done. This is why vigilance is key. Notice the word vigilante comes from vigilance. Watching. But the vigilante judges. And I am no vigilante of self. I'm not here to punish me. God knows there's enough of that going on in the world. So observe the self with kindness. So you can say, remember, we do it this way. Remember, we do it this way. Remember, we do it that way. And the reason we want to be vigilant is to keep ourselves on the path that we have designated for our fulfillment. That's why you want to be vigilant. That's why. Because the minute we become, what do they tell you? Familiarity breeds contempt. It fits. The more familiar you become with something, you forget. Remember, the longer you've been doing it, that habit, right? So that's why it's important to be vigilant, so that when you set the new habit, the new way of being, you can set it and forget it. There's a reason for that. Habits make you successful. But in the making of these habits, and even once the habit has been made, if you look back and you say, you know what? I used to like that behavior, but I don't anymore. Let's make this new one now. And you start doing that new behavior. This is why vigilance is important. That observation is telling you and showing you who you are at every turn. And when you look at yourself and you say, you know what? I like that. I've come a long way. Good for me. Why? I'll say this. Then you feel like, I shouldn't say that about myself. You know what? I'm not going to say that. That's too. You must always pat yourself on the back for your accomplishment. But why is that? Because we walk around and we want to feel appreciated. But if you don't appreciate yourself, how do you know what it is that you're seeking? Appreciation. See, the vigilance is key. If you catch yourself not appreciating what you've accomplished, you know what? I did that today. Good for me. I got to bake a banana bread today. Hallelujah. And you know me, baker extraordinaire. Right? Because I love to bake. I pat myself on the back. I approve this banana bread. Right? If you do not appreciate the self, how can others appreciate you? You love your neighbor as yourself. Who's your first neighbor? The one in the mirror. So when you pat yourself on the back and you show that self-appreciation for what you have accomplished, you are being vigilant to say, I set out to do this. And I did it. Good. Next task, please. You set out to do it, and you accomplish it. And as you are setting out to do it, and you do it, if you don't do it, you watch yourself and you say, hey, remember what we're doing? That's why vigilance is required. But we use vigilance like a big stick. You know how if you went to Catholic school, they'd rap you on the knuckles with the ruler. Bad! That's why we use vigilance. Instead, use vigilance to recognize if you are staying true to the path that you have set out for yourself. They used to say this to us in primary school. Aim for the stars and you'll make it to the treetops. Now, I don't know if I like that anymore. If I aim for the stars and I get to the treetops, yeah, I'm closer to the stars. But for some reason, that still indicates a sense of failure, of not having met the goal. If I'm aiming for the stars, I will have the stars. Because you stay the course. Ever vigilant, ever watchful of the self. That's the beauty of what we have, to be watchful of the self. That's what we do. Didn't Mystical say it? Watch, stare. That's what we're doing every time. Right? So let us relinquish that judgment. We relinquish judgment by knowing why you're doing what you're doing. You are watching yourself to make sure that you are walking on the pathway you say you want to be on. That's what you're saying to yourself. Hey, this is my pathway now. This is my pathway now. This is my pathway now. This is my new behavior. This is my new lifestyle that I'm developing. So if you get up in the morning and you say, I really have to go to the gym today. What did you decide for yourself? You said, well, fitness ain't going to happen by itself. So let's have fun while we go to the gym. But you see, you had a little bit of a late night. You had a little bit of a late night. And now you open your eyes and you say, oh, I'm so tired. I can't. But if I don't go, I'm going to eat that cheesecake. If I don't go, you see, you're judging yourself. There's only one question. Did you say you were going to the gym today? Well, then you get up and you have your gym clothes nicely laid out. Why? If you got to go looking for them, chances are you're going to lay back down again. But if you have them laid out because that is the pathway you have chosen, you get up, you put your stuff on, you go get your workout done. Here's the other way to do it. You know how good you feel after you do that workout, don't you? You see that sensation of accomplishment that you have after you've worked out? Bring it up in the body. Begin to feel the sensation of having completed, because you know what it's like. You know exactly what it feels like when you finish that workout and you turn in the mirror, because we like to take selfies, yes? And we turn in the mirror and say, oh, girl, you got it. Oh, look at these arms. Which way to the beach? We know how that feels in the body. So conjure up that sensation and get yourself to the gym. You know why? Because when you conjure up that sensation, your body says, oh, we doing this, are we? Yeah, I know how good that feels. Let's go. And you go and you do your workout. And you're like, snap, I feel amazing. Just like you knew you would. So you see, be vigilant. Then that thing comes in there to say, oh, but your bed is extra warm today, isn't it? How about we stay snuggled in here just a little bit longer? Well, you know what that is. Then you can say, our new lifestyle is fitness, people. Fitness. We want to move this body with ease. We want to climb the stairs. We want to cross the street and not have to take a break. So let's go. Notice there's no judgment. So to be vigilant means you are observing the self to make sure that you are on the path that you have set for yourself. You notice how the dictionary says to be watchful for danger. Listen, you don't got to be watchful for danger. Danger will make itself known because danger is not in your control. But when you watch the self to make sure that you are staying where you want to be because you said it, when you watch the self without judgment and you do a particular thing and you say, oh, remember, we do it this way now. Remember. That's right. Give the command. Be bold and give the command of how you say you will be. And you know what comes out of that? Integrity. I didn't look up the dictionary meaning. I didn't look it up yet, but let's see. Because that's what comes out of being vigilant. You watch yourself, and as long as you stay true to the course you've set out, that's what you're developing. Integrity. Just show me the word, Google. I don't want to sign in. It means staying true and honest. Those are the first two words I caught in the sentence before Google asked me to sign in. Heifer. Anyway, right? And that's what you do. You develop integrity by way of being vigilant of your behavior. You say, I'll be there at 10 o'clock. You get there at 10 to 10. Because why? You said, this is what I will do. This is who I say. I am punctual. So you start making those movements of people who function in punctuality. They tell you you're late if you're not 15 minutes early. I'm like, please. That's according to you. According to me, if I tell you I'm going to be there at 10 and I'm at 10 to 10, 5 to 10, I'm on time. So you start making the behaviors and doing those behaviors that say you are staying on the pathway. Thus, you are vigilant of the time. Look at that. My resident etymologist is here. Let's now take a moment to welcome everybody, and we will come back to that word, integrity, because of vigilance. Twitter. Let's see who's here. Lou, I see you. Meet Lou. And Mosing, you are in two places. Omnipresent, are you? I see you. Welcome to the space. Fan base. Oh, Indy's here too. Welcome, Indy. Shanice, Zola, Toyera, Elle, Miss McQueen, Matthias, Yolanda. Where's my summer rose? Jamea, Malik, my Melanin, and Miss Ravioli here in the fan base. Let's see who's here in YouTube. Mrs. Sonia. Oh, oh, thank you. I got Valentine's Day love already. Look at that. Thank you, Mrs. Sonia. Right back at you. Emanon, yes. Queen Moran. Ain't. Hello, Miss Ravioli. Lovely Supreme Rico. Wes Limbo is here. Mozinga. Mozinga, you baked 2 cakes. Look at you go. Maybe you're channeling me because I've been looking at them bananas and saying, girl, you got to cook with those. That was me. Synovia, I see you. Let's see. I'm just reading the comment. The better man, I see you. There you go. Welcome, everybody. And for those who have not made yourself known, welcome to you also. You see, integrity, entire and whole. Entire and whole. So all, wholeness. You said, here's my new pathway. Thank you, Queen Marat. I'm also grateful to have you. Right? We say, I'm staying true to this pathway. And you stick to it. Every day you get up, you do the same thing the same way. And you watch. And you watch and you make sure. Right? And you're always watching. You're always watching. Because as soon as you've attained one level, well, graduation, yes, you go on to the next. Why? Because everything moves. Everything moves. This is the law of vibration. You cannot remain the same. You are ever growing. This is why vigilance is key. You want to make sure, even if you've got a bonsai plant, you want to make sure to mold it and shape it the way you want it to be. And you watch it every day to make sure it's doing what you have asked of it. Well, we are like that bonsai, being molded and shaped. By who? The master gardener. Who's that? You. Neville Goddard has a lecture called The Pruning Shears of Revision. That image just popped into my head when I mentioned the bonsai. To prune, you're removing everything that really doesn't benefit. Notice there's no judgment in pruning. That's what we're doing. Scripture says we're vines. Well, the branches of the vine, yes? Now what do you do with branches? Branches are habits. So the habit that no longer serves you, what do? You cut it off. Because now all the power and the energy goes to the other parts. Because that's what you want to foster, yes? See, sometimes we take things too literally. Like in the scripture, it tells you if the eye offends you, gouge it out. I'm like, say what now? That just simply is telling you, if you're looking at that thing that you don't like, change it to what you want it to be instead. Thus one must be who? Vigilant. Be vigilant. Be vigilant. Not to judge the self, but to make sure you are staying where you say you want to be. To make sure you are living the new lifestyle that you want to live. That is why vigilance is required. I trust that makes sense today. Because, as I said, sometimes it is very easy. It is very, very easy to fall backwards into the old way. Because we're busy looking at everything else but the self. Self-centered, it's not a bad thing. It means the self is centered. Centered on what? The law. Fancy that. But we want to mistake it for, oh my God, you're like so arrogant. You're so whatever. Judgment? What do we do instead? Edify. Oh, yeah. There you go. You're on the alert. Thank you, Mosina. The alert. Why? Because you're looking to make sure you stay on the pathway that you have set out for yourself. In Banff here, when we go hiking, there's the little trails that tell you stay on the pathway, right? Stay on the, because if you go into the bush, well, first of all, you don't know if there's a cougar watching you. Oh, they have those up in there. Oh, they watch you. Oh, they stalk you. So when they tell you stay on the path, it's for your own good. So it is for your own good, for you and I to stay on the path that we have set out. That pathway of change to say, I am this way now. This is my new behavior. Fancy this. When was the last time I was real angry? Oh, yeah. That's nice. That's real nice. You see, when you become vigilant, it's a practice, right? You start to watch yourself and you're like, oh, when was the last time I did that? Because you stayed on the pathway. And if you watch, that's the law of rhythm, because it will show you, right? It'll show you by way of polarity and rhythm, the distance between what you used to be and who you are now. It'll show you how many times you relapsed. You see, you relapse and you relapse and you relapse until you stay. The relapse isn't bad, you know. Count how many times you did. Count how many times. And you'll see that they get fewer and fewer between the more vigilant you stay on that pathway. Oh, Mozinga, look at you. There's that vibration, right? Huh. So you see, my beautiful friends, today, let us be vigilant so that we make sure we stay on the path that we say we're going to stay on. Oh, but what if I mess up? Get up, dust off your knees, and get on the path. You notice when you mess up, you didn't fall in the bushes, you just fell on the pathway, did you not? All you did was fall on the pathway. So what did you mean did you mess up? You're on the pathway. You just stumbled. Get up. You see, this is the importance of not having judgment. Edify. Look at the situation before you. So yes, there was a twig in the pathway and you stumbled over it. Okay. Kick the twig to the curb. Kick it off to the side. Keep going on the pathway. This is what we do. Day in and day out. Because you are developing your new lifestyle. Mm. Mm. Whew. I'm loving y'all this morning. I mean, I love y'all every day, but today's an extra special boost of love for us today. Oh, it surely is. I see that. The clown doesn't remember the mistakes he made. See that meaning? When you live to entertain, clowns entertain. You do anything for the laugh, for the appreciation, for the acceptance. When you live to entertain. But what if you were vigilant to watch yourself and appreciate yourself? You notice how now you don't have to go looking? You see, we think we have these voids. There aren't any voids. Well, how can you be so certain? Cause and effect. Every cause has its effect, and every effect its cause. So there can be no void. So you're not missing anything. You just haven't seen it. Well, I don't know what it's like to be appreciated. Oh, you don't? Of course you do. Of course you do. Just take a little bit longer to sit there till you find it. And you'll see it. Whether it was your dog that appreciated you. And you know how now you can, the dog knows when you're almost home. They will sit at that door an hour before you even get there because they felt you. Oh, Lord. They're tuned into your vibration. They know you. They can feel you. That is appreciation. Oh, that's so trivial. In a real life person. So the dog is dead? It's alive. It appreciates you. You see, that's what I mean when I say we want to fall and judge how we fall. Appreciation, all you are doing, this is why Neville Goddard can tell you the mood already exists. Creation is done. Because you can call up the mood of appreciation at any time, whether it was you who felt the appreciation or you gave and someone felt the appreciation. Either way, you felt it. You were privy to appreciation. So you must be able to conjure up that sensation of appreciation because it is there for you to do. And when you bring up that sensation of appreciation, your body says, oh, we're being appreciated right now. So then you do that. You no longer have to search. You're searching for what's right in front of you. Like looking for your glasses and you're wearing them. How many times have I done that? They're right on your face. Your appreciation is right there. Your self-acceptance is right there. Because the law tells you what? As within, so without. As within, so without. Vigilance, my friends. Yes. Mozinga, this is correct. On to the next thing. That's what it is. You've got to up the ante every time if you are busy looking on the outside. And every time you up the ante because of what's going on and you want that acceptance from out there, you catch yourself and you're like, what am I doing? Set your course. Oh, I felt like Jean-Luc Picard. Ensign, engage. Oh, snap. Set your course. And watch that you remain on it. Oh, Lord. Sorry, this was totally Star Trek right now. Yes. You set the course. And you watch that you remain on it. A pilot does this. Set the coordinates. Vigilance. That is what I'll say to you. Let me see. Oh, I'm going to get there. Just give me one moment. I'm reading them here. But that's okay, Mozinga, right? The interpretation. Yes. But that's the, see, there's the context of the clown is in, it can be taken in two things, right? The one who does not observe themselves so that they go out and they try and fill an imaginary void with any such thing becomes this puppet trying to fill it with all these things on the outside. But like you say here, if you are vigilant, you get stronger as you go because you watch the self, right? That's exactly what it is. That is exactly what it is. Les, thank you for such a beautiful reminder. Les says to remember to like, share, and subscribe. That's what Wes says today. You see, we are these beautiful, beautiful people, right? But what have we done? We have reduced unconditional love to a box of chocolates. You see, if you are vigilant, my friends, if you are vigilant, and you say the very beating heart in your chest, that is love. Look for all the places along your pathway that you can see love. Because as within, so without. You know there's love within you. Walk on that pathway of love. Why? Because you will begin to see and experience the love on the outside. And it's not that it's outside of you because it just shows up. You put it there. You are projecting it outward. As within, so without. That is the law of gender as well. Yes, ties, tidbits. Bringing up the sensation in your body. Because if you notice that the body, right, There's so many things that, for lack of a better word, trigger us. What happened to your body when you're triggered? Oh, you felt that, didn't you? And your body says, oh, this is happening now. And a whole host of chemical reactions go off, and you jump into the situation. So why not use the sensation for your own benefit? Bring up the sensation. Bring up the sensation. This is what you're practicing, so that you are the one in control of you on that pathway at every turn. Indeed. That's just all I wanted to tell y'all today. Huh. I didn't see no shea butter in here today. Yes, shea butter. I missed you. Cuddles. I see you. I trust that these things make sense to you today. Be vigilant, my friends. Be vigilant. Not to judge, but to edify. And out of that vigilance comes integrity. Why? Because you say what you're going to do, and you do it. That's why. You now become a man of your word and a woman of your word. Oh, all by vigilance. Yes. So you see, these things are far-reaching. These causes have far-reaching effects. So the cause of watching oneself and staying true to the course brings the effect of integrity. That's what it does. Synovia, what a beautiful question. Why do people let others control them? Because they do not know that they should control themselves. They don't know that they have that power to control themselves. They've not been told that. That's why. They've not been told it. And it's not even something that you need to be told. It's something that has been, it is something that has been forced out of you. Why? You get up, you go to work, you go to school, you go to college. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. Yes, sir. No, sir. You see it? You're always being told how to behave by outside people. And so because we've been doing it for so long and living that lifestyle of always being told what to do, why would you think to look inside yourself to say, I can control me? That's why people allow themselves to be controlled. And again, vigilance is required, because sometimes the control is covert. It's under the surface. You can't see it. You can't see it, but it is there. So you've got to watch. If you go somewhere and fear is the order of the day on the menu, right? Don't give in to the fear. Observe the self. What's coming at me right now? Why? You want me to do this? Why are you scaring me? If you want me to do something, ask. But why would you scare me? You see, it is ill-advised to create fear in someone. When you create fear in someone, you're reducing them to mere animal. Why? Because when you are afraid, you will do something. And it's not necessarily a good thing that you will do, because now it's a defend or die. You don't want to put anybody in that position, and you don't want to be put in that position. Why? You must always have a clear head if you will act right. Fear blinds the eye, you understand. This is why you don't instill fear in anybody. Because now they're not their true self. Honesty with self, wholeness with self, integrity. I see you, soul of a man. I thought of you this morning when I said, let's go. I said, ooh, soul of a man. I just didn't say your name, but I didn't say your name out loud, but you came nonetheless. You see, the encouragement today is to remain vigilant. You set your course and you make sure that you're staying on it, which means you don't allow yourself to be pulled off your course. And truthfully, the thing that will pull you off there is fear. You understand? If fear is coming at you, that's the law of gender, it's being projected. Somebody's trying to impregnate your subconscious mind. Because what happens when the subconscious mind becomes pregnant? It has to give birth. So what are you allowing your subconscious mind to be impregnated with? You must give birth to it. You see? Vigilance. We don't know it all. I sure as hell don't know it all. But I'm learning. I'm learning. And we learn. You see, this is why AI is kind of scary. Because it learns without judgment. It simply observes. And then it responds based upon what it has learned. But the difference between that and us is, as a human being, when you see a situation, you assess that situation and you make the best choice for what's happening there. But on the other side of things, they make the choice based upon the outcome that they want to see. There's no integrity. There's a difference, and I hope you see it. I don't want to dig at it too much. I don't want to poke that bear, but recognize that you are always in observation of the self, always. So you must stay vigilant to that. You must. And you stay vigilant, and you remember that, you know what? I am going in this direction. Oh, look at that. I slipped. I'm still going in that direction. And you get up and you do it. Aw, Miss M, I see you. I'm glad you made it. So you see, my beautiful friends, today, be vigilant with the motive of edification. Be vigilant with the motive to edify oneself. That's it. You're not looking for the danger on the pathway. You're on the pathway. You can see. It's not shrouded. It's clear and it's right before you. So you'll see it. Whatever you think can show up, you'll see it long before it gets there. Well, how do you know? Because you're a prophet. Angela. Yes, you are a prophet. Oh, Lord, look at that. Twitter, I dropped you. I dropped Twitter. This is the problem with octopus hands. But Twitter's still in the house. Then you look down the pathway, you can see, because you're the prophet now. Well, how so? Cause and effect. Ah, Mozinga. Beautiful. Beautiful question. He says, so you give birth to what already made you trip. No, hear me out. The projection is what you're watching for, right? You got to pay attention to what's being projected towards you to impregnate your mind. So when you see the projection coming, what do? We be like Neo and we move to the left or we move to the right because you can see it. You are aware that it is being projected. The minute you are aware that it is being projected and you say, no, you've refused it. So it cannot impregnate you. The thing that made you trip is that you were looking somewhere else and not looking at the pathway and going. This is why sometimes when we don't stay vigilant, I used the analogy before of staying on brand. Staying on brand. You marketers know what I'm talking about. But when you get excited, right? You're like, "Ooh, I just want to make a point." And you do something off brand, you're like, "Oh." And you didn't even know you did it. You didn't know you went off brand. Why didn't you know? Because you didn't stay vigilant. You did not stay vigilant to your brand. The brand is your pathway. So then you get excited, you don't stay vigilant. There's nothing wrong with living a beautiful life. But always remember to stay vigilant. That's why you set the course. That's all I'm going to tell you today. Because that's all I'll tell you today. Stay vigilant, my beautiful friends. Stay vigilant. Stay true to the path that you have set for yourself, and you become a man or a woman of integrity. Oh, yeah. Why? Because you did what you said you were going to do. And you know what else that does to you? Oh, it makes you trust yourself. So now you also become trustworthy. But I'll end there. Don't. I'll end with that. Countdown initiated. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I see you, my beautiful friend. Twitter, you know I love y'all. I love you. Oh, and I missed Tiffany and Javion today. Much love, Twitter. Much love. Twitter is closed. Fanbase, I see y'all. I love you. Thank you for being here. Miss Kai. Is that how I say it? Malik, my Melanie, Miss Radio, Shanice, Zola, Toyera, L, Miss McQueen, Yolanda. You're always so gracious to help me, Miss Yolanda, and I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Thank you. Alrighty, fanbase. Peace. Fanbase is closed. YouTube. Look at that. I'm hands-free, y'all. I'm hands-free. Yes, Wes. I do. I know. You know what? You guys are all the best. It doesn't matter which platform you're on. You're all the best to me. Yes, Synovia. Vigilance is different from being paranoid. Paranoid, man, you looking around, looking for every boogeyman under the bush. Vigilance, you're just watching yourself to see that you're staying the course. That's the difference. You're busy looking at you. Oh, autocorrect here. Yep, I did it. Autocorrect there. Yep, I did it. You're only watching you. You're not consumed with, it's gonna get me. You're not thinking about that. As I said, Paranoia has that root in fear. Danger is different from fear. Right? Very different. Fear is just, what could possibly happen? Oh no. Danger is, oh my God, there's a bear. That's danger. Two separate things. And so to stay vigilant, you are simply observing the self and making sure that you are doing what you say you're going to do. That's what it is. Queen Marat, you have a beautiful day also. Girl, you know I'm gonna stay vigilant. After that stumble on the pathway, I'm making sure to stay vigilant. Thank you for the reminder. So there, my beautiful friends. I appreciate each and every single one of you. I didn't say Tracy's name this morning, and Double A Vibes, I didn't say his name this morning either. That's okay, they'll catch the replay. So there, my beautiful friends. Thank you all for being in the space today. I love you, and I appreciate each and every one of you. And look, there's love within you, because the law is unconditional love. You don't have to stay vigilant. The law is not going to say, too bad for you, I'm taking it back. Unconditional love means you did not put a condition. You didn't say, do this. The law is. The law is. And that is true unconditional love, because you get to decide what pathway you're going to choose, and you decide to stay vigilant upon that pathway to make sure that you are where you want to be and where you say you are. Lovely Supreme, Zenobia, Wes, Queen Marat, Mozinda, Ms. M, Soul of a Man, Ties Tidbits. You know what? I just love that name. And in the words of Wes, remember to like, share, subscribe. I'm just looking for the rest of the names. David, the Better Man, Anot, Miss Ravioli, Imanon, and Asonia. Thank you all for being here today and sharing your time, efforts, and energy. Thank you, lovely Supreme Rico. I'm going to take that. Peace, love, and prosperity to all souls. Thank you. Much love, everybody. Much love. Peace. David. Me too. Me too. Being stubborn. As if that's a bad thing. Remember, it's all perspective. Right? Stubborn means you stay focused to the task at hand. You are relentless. You just got to choose what you're going to be relentless in. This is why stubbornness can work for you or against. Right? It's just a matter of what you're using it for. You're absolutely right, man. That was always till my grandfather decided, you're not stubborn, you're just determined. So I feel that today. All right. I love you all.